Most people accept joint stiffness and discomfort as a natural part of aging, waking up each morning with tight knees or sore hips and believing there is nothing they can do about it. Yet hidden beneath this belief is a powerful truth that challenges everything they think they know about growing older. Aging joints do not have to mean limited mobility, constant aches, or the gradual loss of independence. The body has an extraordinary ability to renew itself, even after years of wear and tear, and the key lies in movement. There are specific exercises that do more than just relieve pain temporarily. They actively restore flexibility, lubricate the joints, and rebuild strength in the supporting muscles. These are not extreme workouts or complicated routines reserved for athletes but simple, accessible movements that can be performed by anyone, anywhere, in just a few minutes a day. The surprising part is how quickly they can work. Within days of consistent practice, stiffness begins to ease, circulation improves, and joints start to feel freer and lighter. For many people, the real fear is losing independence as they age, relying on others for help with everyday tasks, or facing the possibility of surgery. But what if that future could be rewritten with a few daily exercises? The difference between growing older with pain and growing older with vitality is not luck or genetics, it is action. These 5 exercises have been shown to rejuvenate joints, enhance mobility, and even slow down the effects of aging itself. And while most people will ignore this information and continue to suffer in silence, those who take a few minutes each day to move differently may discover a powerful secret: aging does not have to steal their freedom of movement. Instead, it can be the beginning of a new chapter where joints feel younger, stronger, and capable of carrying them into the years ahead with confidence. As people move past middle age, one of the most common challenges they face is the gradual loss of joint health. What begins as mild stiffness in the morning or a dull ache after climbing stairs often develops into a persistent reminder that their body is not as resilient as it once was. The joints, once smooth and flexible, begin to feel rigid, swollen, and unreliable. For many, even simple activities such as bending down to tie a shoe, carrying groceries, or walking for more than a few minutes can trigger discomfort. Over time, these small limitations create a deep sense of frustration and fear. The fear is not only about pain but about what the pain represents. It signals the possibility of losing independence, of relying on medications with side effects, or of facing surgery as the only remaining solution. Many individuals begin to wonder if their best years are behind them and if decline is inevitable. This worry weighs heavily on the mind, feeding into the belief that aging must equal weakness and immobility. The emotional toll can be as severe as the physical, with people avoiding social activities, hesitating to travel, or withdrawing from hobbies they once loved because their joints no longer cooperate. This cycle of inactivity and fear only accelerates the problem, as weakened muscles place more strain on already vulnerable joints. The prospect of living with chronic pain, limited mobility, and a loss of freedom becomes one of the most frightening aspects of aging. Yet, beneath this fear lies a quiet question: is decline truly unavoidable, or is there a way to break free from the path that so many assume they must follow? When joint pain begins to interfere with daily life, most people fall into predictable patterns that unintentionally make the problem worse. One of the most common mistakes is complete avoidance of movement. Out of fear of pain or injury, many choose to rest more, believing that stillness will protect their joints. While rest may provide short-term relief, inactivity gradually weakens the muscles that support the joints, leaving them even more vulnerable. Over time, stiffness increases, and simple motions become more difficult, feeding the very cycle they were trying to escape. Another mistake is relying solely on pain medication. Pills can mask discomfort, but they do not address the underlying causes of joint decline. In fact, dependence on medication can give a false sense of security, leading individuals to ignore the importance of lifestyle changes that could truly improve mobility and reduce inflammation. Some people also turn to quick-fix solutions they read about or hear from friends, such as extreme diets or unproven supplements, hoping for a miracle. These often fail to deliver results and can cause disappointment or even harm when taken without proper guidance. Others push themselves too hard, believing that only intense exercise will help. Instead of gentle, targeted movements, they choose heavy workouts or sudden bursts of activity, which can overstress already fragile joints and cause further damage. Another widespread mistake is poor posture and lack of attention to body mechanics during daily activities. Simple habits like slouching in a chair, standing unevenly, or lifting objects incorrectly put unnecessary strain on knees, hips, and spine. Finally, many underestimate the role of consistency. They may try stretching or light exercise once or twice but stop when results are not immediate. The body needs regular, intentional movement to adapt, but impatience leads to abandonment. Together, these mistakes create a hidden trap where joints grow weaker, mobility declines, and the belief that aging must equal pain becomes stronger. Yet in reality, the opposite can be true if these errors are recognized and replaced with smarter, more sustainable habits. The first secret element in restoring joint health and slowing the aging process of mobility is controlled, gentle stretching that focuses on flexibility and circulation. As people age, tendons and ligaments lose elasticity, and without deliberate attention, joints begin to stiffen like unused hinges. Stretching is not about forcing the body into uncomfortable positions but rather creating small, consistent movements that open up tight areas and allow blood to flow freely. This improved circulation delivers oxygen and nutrients directly to the tissues that cushion and protect the joints, while also helping to flush away inflammatory byproducts that contribute to pain and swelling. Gentle stretches performed daily can release tension in the hips, lower back, shoulders, and knees, areas most affected by the gradual wear of time. These movements also train the nervous system to trust motion again, breaking the fear of pain that often locks people into inactivity. Another key benefit is that stretching stimulates the production of synovial fluid, the body's natural lubricant that keeps joints gliding smoothly. Without this fluid, cartilage grinds more harshly, leading to stiffness and discomfort. By encouraging its release, stretching provides a natural cushion that reduces friction and protects joint surfaces. Over weeks and months of consistent practice, individuals often notice their range of motion expanding and their daily tasks, such as climbing stairs or bending to pick something up, becoming easier and less painful. The power of this first element lies in its simplicity. It requires no special equipment, no expensive supplements, and no complex training. Yet it awakens the body's innate ability to heal itself and maintain balance. The act of moving slowly, breathing deeply, and holding a stretch not only benefits the joints but also calms the mind, reducing the stress that often worsens inflammation. This secret is not hidden because it is unknown, but because it is often underestimated. In a world chasing quick fixes, the quiet discipline of stretching is overlooked, despite being one of the most effective tools for preserving mobility and vitality well into later years. The second secret element in rejuvenating the joints and slowing down the march of age is the deliberate use of strength-based movements that activate the muscles supporting the joints. While stretching restores flexibility and freedom, it is strength that provides protection and stability. As people grow older, muscles naturally weaken if they are not regularly engaged, and this weakness shifts the burden of movement onto the joints themselves. When the muscles surrounding the knees, hips, and spine no longer provide adequate support, every step, every bend, every lift grinds more pressure directly into cartilage and ligaments. By introducing gentle resistance exercises, this pressure can be redirected and evenly distributed, preventing further damage and restoring balance to the skeletal system. These exercises do not have to involve heavy weights or demanding gym sessions. The simple act of rising slowly from a chair without using the hands, controlled squats with body weight, or light resistance band routines can awaken dormant muscle fibers and begin the process of rebuilding strength. Stronger muscles act like shock absorbers, softening the impact that joints endure throughout the day. Beyond protection, this kind of activity stimulates bone density, an often overlooked element of joint health, reducing the risk of fractures and ensuring that the skeletal structure remains resilient. Strength-based training also enhances posture and alignment, keeping joints in their optimal positions and preventing the slow misalignments that lead to chronic pain. With consistency, these small efforts accumulate into remarkable change. Tasks that once felt impossible, like standing for long periods or walking up hills, gradually become achievable again, not through force but through steady reinforcement of the body's foundation. Another overlooked benefit is the way these movements stimulate hormones that play a direct role in tissue repair and inflammation control. Gentle strength training signals the body to rebuild, to regenerate, and to protect. It is not merely about preserving muscle mass but about awakening the entire system to function in harmony again. The beauty of this element lies in its adaptability. It can be done at home, at one's own pace, tailored to individual ability and need. The key is consistency, not intensity, and over time this steady practice breathes youth back into the joints, not by magic, but by re-establishing the body's natural mechanics that had quietly begun to fade. When flexibility and strength come together, the body begins to transform in ways that often feel almost miraculous. Stretching alone may loosen tight muscles and restore mobility, but without strength to stabilize the newly gained range of motion, the relief is temporary. Strength training on its own may build powerful muscles, but if the joints remain stiff and the connective tissues are not gently lengthened, tension accumulates and movement remains restricted. It is the union of both practices that creates a lasting result. When someone begins the day with simple stretches that release tension in the hips, knees, and back, circulation improves and the joints are gently prepared for movement. Following this with strength-focused exercises, even as simple as controlled bodyweight squats or resistance band pulls, locks in this freedom by reinforcing the surrounding muscles. The joints are no longer left vulnerable but are held in place by strong and supple tissue. Over time, this combination reduces chronic inflammation, as smoother movement patterns prevent unnecessary strain and irritation. What was once pain during everyday activities slowly turns into ease, and activities that seemed lost to age begin to return. Walking longer distances, gardening without soreness, playing with grandchildren, or climbing stairs without hesitation become possible again. More than the physical changes, there is also a shift in confidence. The fear of fragility that so often dominates the lives of older adults begins to fade, replaced by a renewed sense of control. Each movement becomes evidence that decline is not inevitable and that the body, even with age, retains its ability to adapt and improve. Energy levels rise as circulation and oxygen flow are restored. Posture straightens, making breathing deeper and more efficient. The simple act of moving becomes smoother, almost effortless, creating a sense of youthfulness that spills into every aspect of daily life. The result of combining flexibility and strength is not just healthier joints, but a body that works in harmony again, free from the chains of stiffness and pain, proving that with the right approach, aging can be met not with decline but with vitality. The moment comes when knowledge must turn into action, because simply understanding the importance of joint health does not create change on its own. Every person who has struggled with stiffness, pain, or the creeping fear of losing mobility must recognize that waiting for the right time only delays progress. The body responds to consistency, not hesitation, and even the smallest steps taken today can lead to profound results in the weeks and months ahead. Choosing to start with a few simple movements each morning can be the difference between waking up in pain and beginning the day with energy. No equipment is required, no gym membership is necessary, only the decision to move and commit to a routine that supports the body rather than lets it decline. The exercises are not about pushing limits or achieving athletic performance but about regaining what should never be lost: freedom of movement, comfort in daily activities, and the ability to live without constant reminders of age. The call is clear: to rise above the common belief that aging must equal decline and to take ownership of health in a way that ensures every year can be lived with strength and vitality. There is no better time than now to begin, because each day of waiting allows stiffness to settle deeper and weakness to grow stronger. But each day of action creates momentum, repairing, strengthening, and rejuvenating the joints piece by piece. The journey is not overwhelming, it is built on small, sustainable habits that anyone can embrace. This is the chance to stop seeing aging as a downward slope and to instead step into a path where the body is cared for, supported, and restored. The invitation is simple yet powerful: begin today, take responsibility, and unlock the possibility of moving freely and confidently again.